Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Running a business means you're always reachable until you're not. And the moment you miss that call, a competitor picks it up. That's why this episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Quo, the business phone system built so you never miss an opportunity. All your calls, texts, and voicemails live in one place. Anyone on your team can pick up a conversation, see the full history, and respond fast. Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by over 90,000 businesses. Set up in minutes on any device. Keep your existing number, add teammates as you grow. No IT, no hassle. Quo's built-in AI agent even handles after-hours calls and books appointments, so you're covered around the clock. Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo free, plus 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/tech. That's quo.com/tech.
With the new MyLowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
The Sewing Club podcast is recorded on Turrbal and Yagara country. We pay our respects to the elders past and present.
Hey Kylie.
Hi Gemma.
How you going?
I am great. How are you?
Yeah, good. We should probably welcome everyone, shouldn't we, to the
Yes.
Sewing Club podcast. So
welcome. We're back.
We are back. We've had a little break. Things have been a bit hectic and busy. And what's been going on at Kylie and the Machine?
Yes, you're right. It has been hectic, and as you know, we both have our own businesses, and we're both mothers, and we have kids, and so we are really trying to make sure that we are present for everything. And sometimes we decided that the podcast we just needed a break from it for just a little moment, but we're back now.
Yeah, I think school holidays kind of got in the way a little bit, and new things going on in I think both of our businesses, and. It just, we just need to have a little break. But I think we're back and we're raring to go.
Yes, yeah, we are. But in terms of things that are going on, oh my gosh, the world is changed.
Yeah.
We are just experiencing lots of, new things that we haven't had to experience with tariffs and things like that.
So where are you guys at with that? What does it mean for you guys?
Yeah, our products, as you know, are made in China, because most products, especially in the sewing industry, are made in China. A lot of fabrics and most of the notions and tools, buttons, threads, everything, sewing machines themselves.
Yeah.
So, I think in general the industry has had to, especially in America, we have American stockists, we have American customers, and that affects us, and it affects a lot of our customers as well. So many things have been thrown at us with COVID, and then the whole no planes, we weren't able to ship anything, and then we were able to ship everything again, and then the economy changes, and now so it's like every year is a new challenge.
A roller coaster.
It's very
fun.
Hard. It's really hard to forecast things for the future when things change all the time, but that's business.
And with the whole tariff situation, do you feel like you kind of know where you stand with that now, or is it going to be a sort of day by day sort of see how it goes? Yeah,
it's pretty wild. I mean, to go from no tariffs to 145% tariffs, which means I don't know if people understand. So, if you were in America and you were buying stock that came from China, if you bought $1,000 worth of stock, you would have to pay $1,450 in tariffs. Wow. That's so much money.
Yeah,
on
it's
top
a deal
of
breaker, isn't it?
So it really. I mean, that's the whole plan, but it's just been very, very difficult for everybody at the moment. Yeah.
And do you think a lot of the manufacturing will move away from China?
I don't know.
No.
I feel like
watch this space, I guess.
Right now, I can't see it happening for us, or I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
Who knows?
We'll see. Hopefully, it doesn't last forever.
Interesting times.
Yeah.
Without mentioning any names.
Yes, exactly. But what about you? What about sewing, Jen?
Look, things have been good. We've been, fairly busy. We've launched a new tailoring section of our website, which has been going really well. Sort of dipped our toe in the water with that, and it's gone well. And then we've expanded again. So it's really nice to see that happening.
Like what? What sort of products?
So like we've got horsehair canvas, things for basically making jackets, sleeve head roll, canvas. We've obviously always had our band roll, better quality shoulder pads, things that when you're making a jacket and you're going to put all those hours into it, a bit like the corsetry range that we do, you're going to put all those hours into making something. You don't want to have to go and get something that's almost what you should be using. You actually want to be using the good stuff because it's so time consuming. And so I wanted to be able to supply that, I guess, to our Australian and New Zealand customers.
So it's mainly just like the internal structure of the jacket that you don't see.
No, you don't see it. It's not the fabrics to make the jacket that you see on the outside, but it's all the things that you need to create the structure on the inside. Like we've branched out on our range of interfacings as well to make that easier. And we're going to be launching basically like we do with our corsetry, a tailoring kit as well. So people that might be new to it, they can just purchase the kit and then they've got hopefully everything that they need to be able to make a jacket successfully.
Right. And what about like the price? I'm just so curious because I haven't branched out into making a jacket yet, but is there a difference in price in getting the better quality stuff?
Yeah, look, some of the fabrics, they're definitely more expensive than, you might want to spend, but, we're sort of importing them and, we want to make sure they're available for people if they want to, use the correct items, I guess. But yeah, it does cost a little bit more, I guess, than if you were just using an imitation or something like that, for sure.
It is such a shame that we sewists and crafters, when we go to buy the supplies for the things that we want to make, that they're not good generally. And the things that you buy in the shop have the good stuff in it, but the supplies that we
can't get hold of very easily.
It's very hard.
Yeah, it is very hard. And as I say, when there's such time-consuming projects, you're literally giving up such big chunks of your time. You want to use the good stuff, right? You want to have, because you're much more likely to get better results that way.
That's how I feel about our denim hardware because have you ever used the crappy ones?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they are terrible.
And you've worked so hard on this project, you put the hardware in at the end and it's
spent like hours making these jeans
and
then the hardware breaks. Yeah.
And the other thing we're getting much closer with now is, I've been saying it for a while, but we are getting very close to launching our lessons.
Woo-hoo.
But that's behind the scenes been quite a lot of work for me. My mum has been away on holiday, so I've been doing a lot more of the packing and stuff myself.
Yeah.
So it's just it's just the juggle, isn't it? But I'm excited to get into teaching and sort of be in the local community for people that are interested in coming to learn how to sew.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to talk about one other thing with my business because I just remembered.
Ooh.
We have a new staff member, a new customer service person. So if you are emailing us, you might get to talk to Sue Ellen or Sally. But we are focusing on our local Australian customers in that we have a really great pattern printing service.
Amazing.
And now we have the staff to facilitate it. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you need any patterns printed?
Well, we definitely will be needing patterns printed. So I will be knocking on your door. So Sue Ellen, is she the lady I need?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's going to be printing the patterns.
Look forward to meeting her.
Yes. But you know what? This pattern designer, if I think about her, the one for today, I think about jackets.
Getting back to our podcast.
I think about jackets. I think about how she has the jacket making course with all the...
She's known for it, right? Yeah.
But we didn't choose the jacket because...
we went for a slightly simpler project to get us back into things. Yes. But we were really excited to talk to her because she's a bit of I think an icon in the sewing world.
I was excited to talk to her.
Yeah, she was really cool to speak to. So should we introduce our pattern?
We definitely should.
So we made the Pietra pants.
Shorts.
Yeah,
well, we made it's called the Pietra pants, but we both made shorts.
We both made shorts. This is true, actually. Yeah, there's a few versions that you can do.
From Closet Core.
From Closet Core. And we got to speak to Heather from Closet Core, which was really good.
It'd be fun to meet up with her in Montreal one day.
She would be so much fun.
Yeah.
That's definitely a bucket list thing to go and do for sure.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we shared a few parallels because we're all in the industry with business and hobbies colliding. So chat about that.
Yeah.
But the Pietra pant, like I said, we just made the shorts, but it does come in 2 long versions as well.
It does. A different sort of leg in those long. You can do more of a wide leg style or a tapered leg.
And it has an elastic backed waist.
Yeah.
Or it's got an elastic waist, but at the back.
Just at the back. So it actually looks quite, it's got like a facing, hasn't it, in the front part, which gives it,
like
I think, a flat, smoother profile, which is really nice. And the pockets are, you know, they're simple to construct, but they just give it that little bit of detail that, just elevates it a little bit. And I
like that front seam.
I agree. Yeah.
It goes down the leg of the short or the pant, and it elongates, and it means that you can actually cut this out of a fairly like not in too much fabric.
Absolutely, yeah, that's good. Yeah,
get jigsaw-y with it.
You could piece together as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember back when these first patterns were released, because I was living in Canada at the time, and Heather is from Canada. She's in Montreal and I was in Toronto. And yeah, that's when I was starting to sew, and I really lapped up these new in inverted commas, new pattern designers coming out with the PDF patterns.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, we had, you know, the Big Four.
The Big Four.
And yeah, so I feel like I consider Heather being in that group of the sort of first people that were.
Yeah, the OGs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, originally it was closet case patterns.
Closet case patterns.
When did they rename? I can't, or rebrand?
I think it was in 2019.
19, yeah. So now Closet Core. And she's branched out more since then, hasn't she?
Yes.
She's they've obviously got a fabric side of the business as well.
And they acquired one of the other French-speaking
right.
pattern companies, which is Deer and Doe.
Yeah.
Which is a different sort of vibe in terms of the style, but
they're releasing patterns under the Deer and Doe company name, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's so inspiring to start from like yourself, putting out a pattern, starting with a blog, and then putting out patterns, and then having a big team, and then having a subscription, and having a fabric store, and acquiring, you know, other pattern companies.
Sewing wasn't this thing that I was doing alone in my apartment. It was this thing that I was doing with this amazing community of women, and we were all learning together. And so I felt very supported in all things. And when I decided to release a pattern, the support I got from that community was incredible. And so it wasn't in a vacuum, and I think throughout the history of Closet Core, it's always been with like our community at the core. And so it was kind of, it happened organically, and I think we've grown quite a bit from where we started. You know, there's a team of 10 of us now, and we have a sewing membership, and we're still releasing patterns, and we have sewing classes, we have all this stuff going on. I also have a fabric store with a business partner and another team of people. But at the core of all of it is this community that at first I was friends with, but now I kind of feel like I serve, and who have been there with us through every step of the way, supporting every single change we made, from releasing that first pattern to quitting my job and trying to make it a full-time thing, to our first studio, to where we are now. It's really been with the community at the core of kind of what we do, and everything we offer and everything we design and everything we release is about serving the needs of that community.
It's impressive what she's done.
Yeah, I agree.
She's moving forward with such momentum, and yeah, she's amazing.
And unsurprisingly, the most popular pattern from her range.
Well, or not ironically, my best-selling pattern of all time is Pietra. I went and looked at our sales stats, and I looked from the time it was released to now, and then I looked the last few years, and it's still in number 1 position. And then the second one from the last few years is Mitchell. So if Pietra is kind of the simpler trouser pattern, Mitchell would be the more advanced trouser pattern.
Have you made the Mitchell?
No, I haven't made the Mitchell. Have you, Kylie?
No, I haven't. I've made so many others, but I haven't made that one.
Yeah, these are a really good starting point for a beginner, I think. And
definitely.
It's what I love about their patterns is there's more complex patterns that you can move to when you're ready, which
like
is
the jeans or the jackets.
Like the jeans or the jacket, exactly. They're not all simple patterns. So there's a real range there, which is great.
Definitely. I mean, I've made quite a few of these patterns from Closet Core. I bought this pattern when it first came out, but I didn't sew it until now.
Okay, how funny.
But I have made the boiler suit twice, or the flight suit.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Blanca.
Yeah, Blanca.
Made a short sleeve and a long sleeve. Now that has got about 50 pieces because it's got all these different little pocket bits and
so
things.
That's obviously a bit more complex, that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, so sewing something like this where everything just goes together nicely and so simple and it's a standard garment and the pieces look
like you know what they are.
You know what they are.
And you can kind of get your flow on when you're sewing because you know that nothing is going to go too wrong.
Yeah.
It's going to, you can kind of enjoy the process a bit more. Whereas sometimes when you're doing those more involved sews, it can be a bit more stressful.
So the moral of the story for most of these patterns that we've spoken to people, it's like the basic good garment. What do you call them? Core garments. Core garments, yes. Core garments.
Capsule, core, I don't know.
They seem to be the ones that are the most popular.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. Yeah.
People want
good entry points as well for beginner
clothes.
sewers. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People want clothes.
Yeah, they do.
People want clothes.
They do want
they can
clothes.
put on
I mean,
clothes themselves.
why do we do? Some don't.
Like,
some don't want clothes.
What am I trying to say? People like clothes. I mean,
most anyway.
I would prefer people wear clothes. That's
me too. You know what I really loved though was talking to her about her first pattern that she designed. That was really funny.
So the first pattern was the bombshell swimsuit, which was a very vintage 50s inspired kind of pin-up-y style swimsuit. Back in 2013 when we were doing a lot more vintage inspired stuff. And at the time, when I went swimming, I just didn't like a lot of cheek. I've done almost a full 180 on that. I'm not like full cheek at the pool, but I'm definitely like, there's a lot more cheek for me happening when I go swimming than there was in 2013, even though that was the time for me to go full cheek because I was a young woman and everything was high and tight. And not so high and tight anymore. But it was like I know we're not like, listen, I know flattering is a contentious word in the sewing industry, but it was a swimsuit that everybody felt beautiful in. And it was modest, but it was also sexy. And it was kind of challenging to sew, but it was still an approachable project. And so I have like nothing but like the deepest love in my heart for that pattern because it started this entire dream.
The bombshell is very dissimilar to most of the style of
it's got a vibe.
Yeah, I mean, when I get why at the time that was really popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, things have changed so much since then.
Yeah, particularly when it comes to cheek coverage.
Yeah, cheek coverage.
Hey, why not?
She's right though.
Yeah, she is right. She's spot on. We did actually ask Heather which were her favourite patterns to draft and sew.
Well, I wouldn't say I don't sew that myself that much anymore. I think it just kind of depends on my work schedule. And so when things are really, really intense at work and there's a lot going on and I'm really preoccupied with sewing, sometimes I do just need a bit of a break. One of my goals, though, this year was to start carving out a day a month, a work day a month. So not necessarily a Saturday or a Sunday, but I could come into the studio on a Friday when nobody's here and actually just sew for myself. Because I think one of the tragedies of making your hobby your business is that it doesn't feel like a hobby anymore. And so I still love sewing. And when I'm stressed and anxious, I had a really bad month in February. There's a lot of business stuff going on. And I made our Ameline blouse, which is the crew pattern we did in February, and I did it with lace insertion and all this detail. And it was so soothing. Because it was a more involved project, it wasn't necessarily complicated to sew. It was a pretty simple top. But just doing all of this really detailed heritage sewing where you're inserting all of this lace and you have to be really careful. And I had to be present. You can't zoom. You can't go somewhere else in your head. You have to really be focused and present on what you're doing. It was like meditating for 10 hours or however long I was working on it. It felt so good. So for me, what I'm identifying are those bigger projects for me where I can really just focus on the task and really focus on the physical act of sewing can be very healing for me mentally and emotionally. But then there are times where I just want to make something fast and quick. So I'm going to Japan and I whipped up a few just quick things to bring with me, knits mostly because I'm packing really light and I want everything to be able to compress. And I made like a Friday Pattern Company knit dress. And I made it in 2 or 3 hours, and it was very satisfying. It was very fun to sew. So for me, I think it just depends on the context, where I'm at mentally, what kind of time I have available to me. But I can find joy in both degrees of sewing, the more involved and then the really simple.
Oh, any thoughts on business and hobby collab?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. An interesting point that she touches on there. It's always a bit of a dangerous game, isn't it? Turning your hobby into a business. Mm-hmm. And I love that idea of carving out that one day where you just go and do that thing that you love, and you can, I guess, almost like park the business stuff and reconnect with it. I think that is a very sensible idea, and maybe I should do the same, Kylie.
I think it's a great idea. If I go through periods where I'm not sewing as much, then I feel a little bit disconnected from the customer as well.
Agreed. I completely agree.
Because I am my ideal customer. So if I'm not sewing, then I don't know what the customer would need or want. So I think it's important to keep it going. But yeah, I think this is why I wanted to do the podcast, because I'm always having something to sew for the podcast, and then I've got things to sew for work.
And it feels legitimate sewing. Like
Yes.
I have to do this. This is for work,
Yes.
you know. And it is really good to be brought back to the sewing side of things. And I really identify with what she talks about, the different levels of projects, you know, having those more complex projects that you know, really get to dive into a bit more deeply, and then those really easy ones that you can just kind of whiz off, and you've got this awesome pair of, I don't know, shorts, top, whatever it is. Really, I thought that was a really good answer to the question.
Something basic is more like a necessity.
Yeah.
And then something that's a bit more median, that has more detail or whatever, is more of a passion project.
Yeah, and can be a bit more of a roller coaster, can't it? Because it can be a bit, things don't always go right, you know, or there might be a bit more of a process to work through.
Yeah.
We did actually ask Heather if she had any tips for making the pants or the shorts in our case. And she did have a couple of really good tips, didn't she, Kylie?
Yeah.
The first one was her use of a pattern notcher, which I thought was pretty cool.
There's lots of notches.
You do this as well, don't you?
I love notches.
Yeah. Tell us what you do with a pattern notcher.
Well, you sell them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's basically like a hole punch, but it takes a little notch out of the side of a piece of paper, kind of like a little skinny U shape. So basically, if you've got your paper pattern and you see the notches, you clip little notches out of the paper, and then when you go to cut out the pattern, there's a little gap, and you can just draw
in or snip or whatever you want to do.
Draw in that little gap, and then you draw or snip. Yeah, that's what we talked about as well.
Yeah.
What is your favorite method? I like to draw. I don't like to snip.
It depends. I prefer to draw, but it does depend on the fabric, as often does. But the great thing about doing that with a pattern notcher is then if you've got a pattern piece that you're then turning over, you can see exactly where that notch is, rather than trying to sort of flick up the paper to see where the notch is to mark the opposite side, if that makes sense.
How many bits of paper? I always
Yeah.
You just end up ripping.
Ripping. So you may as well just notch it when you first, when you first cut it out.
I approve of lots of notches. Like if I
agree.
open up the pattern and there's heaps of notches, I'm like, great.
Yeah. The other interesting tip that she gave was using a viscose fabric.
Yeah, I did a bit of a boo-boo here. I chose fabric that I thought I wanted shorts. Like I thought, this is a nice weight for shorts. And it is. It's like a cotton twill, but it's probably not the best fabric for this pattern because of the gathered elastic waistband at the back.
Or the back part of the waistband.
It's great for the front.
Yeah, agreed. Does it have any stretch in it?
No stretch. It's like really rigid.
Okay.
It's only got the stretch because it's a bit of a twill, like a denim.
Got you.
But yeah, it's a grey colour and it's actually divine for this that front facing, because the front facing is really wide.
Yeah.
And it just, everything looks so nice and smooth at the front.
Flat. Yeah, it's really it does look really nice. And as you said, we talked at the beginning about those vertical lines with the top stitching.
But then if you look here at the back, it's a little bit too much for the fabric to be pulled in.
Got you. Did you stitch through your elastic?
No, because I thought that's going to be worse.
I did, and that's
Yours
always
looks great.
A bit of a worry when you're stitching through the elastic, isn't it? Because you've got to make sure you're stretching it out enough, and it's even, and
and you don't want to stretch it out too much.
Too much. It's a bit of a balancing act.
Yours is perfect. What is this?
Yeah, I'm really happy. It's a cotton chambray, and it really came out like, for me, it was just the perfect weight for the shorts. So I'm very happy.
Perfect. She said I should try it again in a viscose.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool as well. It would give them a really different look.
They don't use much fabric, and I'm sure I've got some viscose offcuts somewhere that have got enough to make
They would
pants.
look really nice.
Yeah, little shorts.
Do it.
But now I'm seeing I didn't even realize there was a wide version of the long pants, because on the front packet it's tapered. The pictures of the tapered and the shorts. And I'm only now seeing the wide leg pant, and that in a viscose would be dreamy.
That would be beautiful. Yeah.
It could be swanning around. It was swish, swish,
yeah,
swish.
I think that's a good call. Okay, we've got
you're
one
going on
day, a
holiday-
month or whatever it is, we're going to have to make some wide leg viscosey pants.
I just finished watching The White Lotus, so I'm like, yes, that is like what I would wear if I was going to The White Lotus.
Do it. You're going.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Running a business means you're always reachable until you're not. And the moment you miss that call, a competitor picks it up. That's why this episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Quo, the business phone system built so you never miss an opportunity. All your calls, texts, and voicemails live in one place. Anyone on your team can pick up a conversation, see the full history, and respond fast. Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by over 90,000 businesses. Set up in minutes on any device. Keep your existing number, add teammates as you grow. No IT, no hassle. Quo's built-in AI agent even handles after-hours calls and books appointments, so you're covered around the clock. Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo free, plus 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/tech. That's QUO.com/tech.
With the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
There wasn't really any tricky part for me at all. Like it actually went together so nicely. I guess because some of the other patterns we've done recently are a little bit more, the pattern pieces aren't typical looking.
Yes, that's true. A bit harder to sort of work out what's going where on the initial kind of look at the pattern.
Yeah, because like the sleeve was this is a short. So you're like, that's the back piece, that's a pocket, that's the waistband, that's this. It's very easy.
And as a result of that, very enjoyable process to get into when you're sewing. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoyed sewing them, and I felt they looked very. Did you make any alterations to yours, and what size did you make?
I made the size 4, but I should have actually put a zipper in the side because that's an optional thing.
Yeah,
and we did talk about that.
Yeah, I think I'd like to do that.
I actually just got carried away when I was making them and
following the
just
instructions
kept going. And I didn't put the zip in, and then so putting a zip in is only going to be necessary if you have like a very different hip to waist ratio. Yes. So if your waist is smaller than your hip by like a considerable amount, then you probably will need to put a zip in the side so that you can pull the garment over your hips.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I made the size 8.
Yep.
And the only thing that I did was when I made it, I just took a little bit out of the I've got really flat hips, so I've kind of haven't got the hip issue, but I just took a little bit out of the seams there and a little bit out of the front crotch area because I was kind of between 2 sizes, so I went with the bigger size and then just took that little bit out where I needed it, and that worked really well. It was a very simple alteration to make very easy. Good. So yeah, that was good.
I don't think there's really any part that I even want to add too much in terms of like the tips because it just went together so well. And the way that the back waistband is attached to the front waistband is really clever.
It is.
It's really clean and simple it goes together. It's one step. It's just done.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Kylie.
That's okay.
It's really neat finish inside, and there's something really pleasurable about looking inside and it looking neat. You know, that gave me that little like.
Did you do a binding?
I did do a little bit of binding. Was that not in the instructions? I can't remember now.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
I think
didn't do it.
I got carried away because it was a simple sew, and I just thought, oh, I'm going to put a little bit of binding on the bottom. I'm going to be all fancy.
I'm ashamed of my overlocking now.
No, don't be ashamed. I should have done it all. This is the problem once you start these things, though, because then you look at the side, like maybe I should have it all the way down. But it's
love it.
Yeah, I do love that front facing and how it sits really flat. It's I think a very flattering pair of shorts. And if you put the zip in, you could almost have less gathering in the back as well.
Yeah. Or you could put a dart, maybe.
Yes.
Like a small dart.
That would be nice. That's a good idea.
That's what I was thinking, because I'm really darts. Imagining this viscose pair.
Yeah, I do like a nice fitted pair of shorts. So I think as an alternative way or a bit of a different style is to put 2 darts in and a zip. That would be really cool as well. Maybe for the pants.
Yeah. And maybe, if you listeners here, you're looking at the pictures of our pants, you can actually see what we're talking about, because Gemma's, the elastic is really pulling it in, and then she's got the stitching and it just sits nice and flat. And then if you look at the back of mine, it's a little bit more bulky, and that's just the difference between a heavier weight fabric and a lighter weight fabric. So it's just something you can see, you know, my mistake that I made, so you can just maybe go lighter.
We talk about fabric choice such a lot on the podcast, and we often come back to this. You know, we go in there with our pattern, we pick our fabric, and like last time we were recording, it was me saying, I just picked the wrong fabric. And I think it's so easy to do when you're sewing. Even, we're a fairly experienced sewer, sewist, I should say. You, depending on your choice, it's very, very easy to pick the wrong fabric, I think,
Yeah, because it could be just slightly wrong.
It's just slightly wrong, and you don't know often until it's actually made and you go, oh yeah, that's not really how I wanted it to be. And I think you probably become more picky about how you want things to be as well, the more you know, which is always harder. Become more, perfectionist tendencies.
Oh, that could have already been there, and then we just and it's like when you're just learning, you're okay with things being as they are, and then as you get more experience, it's want them to be how you want them to be.
You absolutely do.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a flash of a label there, Kylie. Tell me about it.
Oh, I used one of our latest collection from Claire Ritchie. It's a flower. It's monochromatic. It's a blue one, and it says "Embrace."
I love that label collection. I actually used it in another pattern that I've recently made. I love the fact that you can literally use them in anything, because they don't. The fact that they don't say anything doesn't means that they don't have to have. You don't have to attach meaning to the garment, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And I think they're just really easy to use in everything, and I think it looks fantastic.
Have you used any of the little ones?
I love the little ones. On something I sewed with one of my girls, actually, we've been making fidgets, because, that's what you do.
Sewing fidgets?
Sewing fidgets.
Okay.
And I let them choose a little label, and they picked one of the little mini flowers to go in the side of their fidget. So we've been using kinetic sand inside and then making like a little beanbag effectively with a little label. So
does it not come out?
Well, we did try. We're really going on a tangent now. We did start with rice, and that was good. Flour, complete disaster, and the dog ate it.
Oh,
kinetic sand is pretty good, but probably need to double layer it next time.
My husband doesn't allow that in our house.
No, we've experienced similar. Well,
or slime.
I'm with him on the slime. Anyway.
Back to the pattern.
Back to the pants.
One thing I got to say was divine is because this fabric was really thick, right? As I said.
Yeah.
And the way that the hem is drafted, it just folded in and just sat where it needed to sit because it was drafted properly.
Yeah.
And perfectly. And what I mean is that anything where there's a pant where it's a little bit tapered, when you go to turn that hem up twice, it's generally not enough fabric to actually sit flat.
If it's not mirrored.
Yes. And because it's got the perfect mirroring there, it just folded in and it stitched in and was good. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Because nicely. I hate when you have to somehow stretch the fabric a little bit and just
manipulate it to get in there.
Yeah. Or you just have to accept there's going to be a pucker somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
No,
there was no puckers.
Well, we're back to being perfectionists again. You cannot have a pucker.
Well, I just think if you have a pattern that's drafted this way, then there's no reason why. It's perfect.
Absolutely.
It just goes together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, no, all the details. Yeah.
Did you put any labels in yours?
I did. I went for a classic.
Oh.
A me made.
Oh, me made.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I often look at the colour and match the colour.
Yeah.
And the lettering was pretty much the same colour as the fabric. So I was like, well, obviously I have to use that. Should we do the ratings?
Yeah, let's rate this pattern.
All right, let's do it. So what do we give it for size inclusivity?
It would have to get a 5 because there are two. Well, this is across all the closet core patterns. There's 2 size ranges, 0 to 20 and then a 14 to 32.
Yeah,
so you just
great.
choose which range you're in. So if you're in the 14 to 20, you can choose
Either or. Yeah, great. So that's good. Drafting. What do we give the drafting?
Well, I just gave it a lot of praise for that,
Yeah,
that hem.
I think we haven't. There's not really been anything in the whole garment that you could really fault in terms of it's got notches.
Yep.
It went together. We knew what bit went where. Mm-hmm. It was very well drafted. So I think we have to
and bilingual if you.
Yeah. True.
I mean, not that you'd really be listening to us.
Yeah.
Yabber on if you.
They might be. You don't know. So yeah, I think we have to give it a 5 for that. And the instructions.
The booklet itself is very clear.
Very
and
comprehensive.
There are so many resources on the website.
Yeah.
There's everything you could ever need.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's they're very thorough, very easy and straightforward to follow.
Yes.
A great sew.
I think that most people that would be attempting this would end up with a wearable
pair of pants.
A wearable pair of pants.
Or pair of shorts or trousers, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. So we gave that a 5.
Yeah, 5. And for difficulty?
Yes. Well, as we've said, they were very straightforward. Mm-hmm. So they're not super hard. Of course.
If you have to add a zip.
But then that's not the pattern, right?
Yes.
But yes, that would take it up to the next level.
Because that's invisible zip territory.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that, given it goes together really nicely and it's a nice straightforward pattern, I think unless you're picking a really tricky fabric, which we always say, I would give it a 2.
Yes, I agree.
Price. So the PDF is 27 AUD, which falls
middle
are $2
signs. Yes.
So overall, how many sewing club stamps do we give it?
Okay, so overall,
we give it 5 sewing club stamps.
It's easy to see why this is the most popular pattern.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Sally. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm trying to not touch the cord to make it all crackly on the microphone. And I feel like I'm doing really well this week.
You're a pro now? Yeah.
I'm a pro. I have been a little bit sick, so you can probably hear it.
Oh, you poor thing.
But I'm fine.
Good.
It's all fine.
But you got a pattern for us, right?
I do have a pattern.
Okay.
That's all she cares about.
I care a lot.
I will
about
allow
your
another
sickness.
pattern.
What have you been up to?
Look, my life is advent calendar right now.
Yep.
Okay, so you've got... Yeah.
There's a lot of work that goes into these things.
I'm sure.
Yes.
And we start at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be cool. There's some fun things. So stay tuned, everyone.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be quite fun. Double the fun.
Double
the
the
fun. Nice.
That's what you got. Okay, very exciting.
Woo.
Next pattern is from Tilly and the Buttons.
Oh, that's so cool.
Tilly's so beautiful. It's
Yeah.
the Stevie tunic.
Awesome. A classic.
Someone from the UK?
Someone from the UK and someone I can ask all about being on the Great British Sewing Bee. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's so beautiful.
And the Stevie?
of course,
Stevie?
she's given us a lovely discount for the amazing all listeners. So just go to her website and do the usual Sewing Club podcast discount.
Excellent.
Excellent. Thanks, Sal.
That's okay. Have fun.
So thanks so much for listening, everyone. We would love it if you could join our Facebook group, the Sewing Club Podcast Community, where we can share our makes and tips and tricks along the way.
And we have an Instagram as well, which is sewingclub.podcast. We have feedback forms attached to that. You can see our garments in the wild. We post videos there, and we love hearing all the feedback, so keep it coming.
We'd love it if you could subscribe, rate, review the podcast. All of that helps to get this podcast to as many people as possible.
Till next time.
Till next time.